So like many other industries affected by shutdowns and closures over the past few months, hiring in commercial real estate is definitely tightening up right now, with many real estate investment firms hitting the pause button on new acquisitions and developments, while buyers and sellers attempt to come to some sort of agreement on how pricing is going to change over the next few months. And because of this, people that are looking to break into the commercial real estate industry for the first time or looking to advance their current real estate career and land a new job in the business, looking good on paper is more important than ever right now. So in today's video, I want to help you with that process of looking good on paper by breaking down 3 key things to make sure that you include in your resume to help you stand out to employers, and 3 things that you should definitely be leaving out if you're looking to land a new role in the commercial real estate industry this year. So if you're trying to make a move in the industry right now and want to maximize your chances of showing up as the best candidate in the resume stack, make sure to stick around for this video. Hey, this is Justin for BreakingTheCRE.com, and if you're new here, on this channel we talk about real estate investing careers and real estate financial analysis. So if you're looking to break into the industry or land your next job in the real estate investment or brokerage field, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos as soon as they're released. So here's the thing, when you send in a resume for an open position, your resume is going to be scrolled through next to dozens, if not hundreds of other applicants that are competing for the same role as you. And to stand out, all you really have is 1 to 2 pages of text to demonstrate why you're the best candidate for the job and can solve the problem this company has better than any other candidate in that resume pile. And if HR or the hiring manager has to go through 100+ resumes, that means that you're going to have to do something that makes you stand out quickly, and you're not going to be able to waste any precious real estate on your resume to convey your skill sets and experience. Now at this point in my career, I've gone through the resume review process a lot, whether through hiring for analysts or interns on the job, or through reviewing resumes for Breaking a CRE Academy members. And through this review process of several hundred resumes at this point, I've been able to see some pretty consistent patterns among things that stand out in a potential candidate's resume that increase their chances of landing a role, and things that end up wasting valuable space on a resume and actually make a candidate less desirable when applying for a commercial real estate analyst or associate job. So first, let's start with the things that you definitely want to make sure that you include. And the first, and often headlining the resume at the top, is a clear and brief summary objective that concisely describes why you're the best fit for the specific job that you're applying for. Now this is where you can add a couple sentences on who you are as a real estate professional, what you bring to the table, and where you're looking to go in the real estate industry. So one of the biggest misses I see on resumes is when people are just too generic with this. So something simple like recent college graduate seeking entry-level role in commercial real estate just isn't going to grab the attention of the person reading that resume. And honestly, generic statements like this sound a little bit like you're lacking direction, and you might just be dipping your toes in the water to test out this whole real estate thing, which I can tell you right now is not what employers are looking for. So instead of a generic summary like the one we just mentioned, that same summary can be modified to really paint the picture of what you're bringing to the table and how you can be an asset to the firm you're looking to work for. So for example, if you're applying for an investment sales analyst role within a team that sells office properties in Los Angeles, you might say something along the lines of analytical recent college graduate with strong skill set in Excel and Argus seeking office real estate investment sales role in the greater Los Angeles area. And when hiring managers read something like this clicks a lot more than just a simple generic summary that you know is being used in dozens of other resumes that the applicant is firing off to probably a dozen different companies. So when it comes off like your job search process is a targeted, intentional approach based on well thought out career goals rather than just a spray and pray approach hoping that you land somewhere and it doesn't really matter where, you're going to gain a lot more attention from hiring managers and much more traction getting your foot in the door for interviews as a result. Now, after you have your summary squared away, next up you'll want to make sure you're including detailed bullet points from past experiences that directly relate to the specific job that you're applying for. So if you've had jobs or internships in real estate in the past, or if you've worked in any sort of finance role that has overlapping responsibilities, you'll want to make sure that you're featuring and highlighting that experience, specifically those responsibilities or projects that show that you can perform the tasks that are going to be taken on by the person that ultimately fills the role that you're applying for. Now, a lot of people get tripped up on this one because they think they might be short on the experience front and don't have direct real estate investment or brokerage experience to speak to. But what many people do have is experience in adjacent industries that is directly applicable to the real estate role they're applying for. So for example, a lot of my students in Break Into CRE Academy members are coming from a different part of the finance industry and are looking to break into the real estate space from there. And people coming from other areas of finance, even if they don't have direct real estate experience, generally have a lot of applicable knowledge and skill sets that will be extremely useful in a real estate investment or brokerage setting. So maybe you had an internship in corporate finance at a major retailer, for example, and you're looking for things to add to your resume. Well, in that internship, I'd be willing to bet you probably worked in Excel, you may have worked with income and or cash flow statements, and you may have even done a dedicated project or two that highlighted your skills in Excel and financial analysis. Or if none of those things are true, maybe you worked in a role where you analyze leases and lease payments so you have a deeper understanding of how retail tenants make leasing decisions. Or maybe the company you worked for was a startup and raised third-party equity from investors and you helped with managing and analyzing investor data and cash flows. Or maybe you worked on the team responsible for budgeting and forecasting and now know how to model cash flows out based on assumptions and historical performance. So whatever that applicable skill set might be, make sure to highlight that on your resume, and again, focus on those skill sets that directly relate to the role you're applying for, even if it isn't uniquely specific to commercial real estate. And finally, once you have an objective and bullet points that directly relate to the role, the final thing you want to make sure that you add on your resume are the specific skill sets and coursework that directly show you have the knowledge and ability to do the things you'll be required to do on the job. So similar to a search engine online, recruiters and hiring managers are scanning through resumes quickly and looking for specific keywords that fit with the job description of the role. And one of the quickest ways to draw attention to your resume is with a section that highlights specific skill sets and coursework that shows you know what you're doing and can step into the role you're applying for successfully on day one. So for commercial real estate analyst and associate roles, the biggest keywords that employers are going to be looking for are generally going to be around real estate financial modeling in Microsoft Excel, the ability to use a software program called Argus for retail, office, and industrial positions, and on top of that, more specific details about your modeling and analysis abilities that directly relate to what you'll be doing on the job. So for example, one of the most highly coveted skill sets for principal side analysts and associates in real estate private equity is real estate equity waterfall modeling. And if you don't have direct experience doing this on the job, this is where adding a course you completed on this specific topic really comes in handy. And the same thing is true for things like building pro forma models, modeling commercial leases, or modeling complex debt structures like construction or mezzanine debt modeling. If you can do these things, you'll want to make sure that you're showcasing this on your resume, whether it's through on-the-job experience or coursework that you've taken. So once you have your summary, your bullet points, and your skill sets and coursework all lined up, now you're ready to start tightening up your resume and cleaning up those parts that are going to distract the reader and aren't necessarily helpful in landing the job you're applying for. And the first thing I tend to see over and over again, especially among people just a few years out of college, is having excessive information on school projects, clubs, or organizations that overshadow the actual relevant work experience that person has. So unless you're just graduating from college and have zero work or internship experience, there's really no need to add a laundry list of extracurricular activities you were a part of during your undergraduate or graduate college experience. Now, obviously, there are exceptions to this rule in cases where you can demonstrate in-depth research or expertise in a topic that directly relates to the role that you're applying for, or something that demonstrates leadership in the real estate community, like running your school's real estate organization, but in general, these should not be the focus of your resume. In most cases, if your educational and academic projects and activities are longer than your work experience, you'll definitely want to trim that educational experience down to just 1 or 2 bullet points that would really create just talking points in an interview that a hiring manager would likely want to know more about when interviewing you for the role. And speaking of too much detail, the second thing I see a lot that you'll want to make sure that you leave out is too much intricate detail on unrelated projects in unrelated industries, specifically in past roles you've worked in. So for real estate analyst and associate jobs, if it's not Excel-based or directly related to what you'll be doing on the job you're applying for, even if it was a major accomplishment at a previous job, my rule of thumb is to leave it out unless it's an extremely impressive achievement that would be recognized in any field of business. That means that even if you're a whiz in Adobe Illustrator and Shopify, for example, don't add those to your resume when applying for an analyst role at a real estate private equity firm. Remember, your resume has to catch the attention of the hiring manager as quickly as possible. And one of the quickest ways for a hiring manager to lose interest is to see a candidate highlighting skill sets that have nothing to do with the job they're applying for in the first place. And finally, the last and maybe most important thing to delete from your resume is what I like to call verbally puffing your chest out. And what I mean by that is to look for words that a reader would have to go look up in the dictionary, or overstating experience or knowledge that you wouldn't be able to talk through if asked about those bullet points during an interview. Trust me when I say this, you do not want to go into an interview having exaggerated your skill sets or experience only to be asked about those things and fumble across an explanation, which compromises your integrity not just on that bullet point, but the entire resume as a whole. The main point here is to be clear and straightforward with what you know and highlight that, but don't reach and embellish things to try to make yourself sound smart or more experienced than you actually are. In my experience, this might seem counterintuitive, but humility and recognizing your strengths go a long way in the interview process, and the more you can do that, the better off you're going to be. So if you're looking to land your first or next job in real estate this year and want to make sure your resume gives you the best chance to do that, these are the things I definitely recommend making sure you have and don't have in your resume right now. And if you want additional help with this and want me to personally look over your resume and give you feedback on your specific situation, this is a feature I offer to Break Into CRE Academy members, so feel free to check out the program if you're looking for additional one-on-one help with this, and I'll leave the link for the enrollment page in the description below. So I hope that was helpful if you're looking to break into the industry or advance your current real estate career in this tough job market. If you like this video and want to see more resume and career focused content on this channel, make sure to let me know by hitting the like button, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to catch every new video on this channel as soon as it's released. Thanks so much for watching, best of luck with the interview process, and I'll see you in the next video.